Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor. This is Jack. This is our third and final episode in Black Week.
First Black Week, right?
Yeah, first Black Week. Maybe there'll be more.
First annual.
Yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the episodes up until now. And today we're just going to talk about black people, kind of in general, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pitch a theory to you.
Okay.
It's going to get tons of people to unsubscribe.
Okay.
But if you've listened to our content before, I don't think we talk out of our butt.
Yeah.
We come with some facts. And this all this entire episode is going to be opinion. I'm going to be putting screenshots on the screen of facts and stuff, but to get to my opinion, I may be wrong. And I literally said before we started filming, you push back as hard as you want as one, because I may be incorrect. Okay?
Okay.
So we're not going to do feelings here. We're just going to do some logical steps.
Okay.
And I'm going to say my first logical step is that white people have lost their stride worldwide.
Okay.
This is my pitch. Now I'm going to put some statistics up on the screen and we're going to look at it, okay? The first one is gays. So this is 2012 to 2022.
Okay.
And so you can see the light green is silent, and then it just goes older until we get to Gen Z at the top.
Okay.
So if you look at it, basically the highest level in Generation X was 4.2%, right? And then in 2022, millennials were at 11.2%. So this is gay, trans, anything in that field.
Okay.
And then you see that the 2022 number for Gen Z is 19.7%.
Okay.
Is that a correct indication that, well, these people are just being taught this?
Right.
This is not a natural thing.
Right.
They're
Definitely.
being indoctrinated to this.
Right.
But is that a fact that you would say goes towards my point of white people losing their stride? Because this is all people, but you see the white people.
But they aren't standing up to it or pushing back against it. It's just they're accepting this. So I think that goes towards your argument that there is no backbone. There is no.
It's hurting other people too, honestly.
Sure.
But like go to any big box store and just see how many pink and green haired people you see.
Right.
You know, and you just look at them and there's this new class of people, right? I've only seen white people like this, but I call them zombies, right?
Okay.
So these are not the fentanyl zombies who are doing the lean over thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They're like these creatures, right? And like there was this one, I was at this gas station, right? And he's walking towards me. He's a worker. And he's walking towards me and he's pushing his cart with some stuff on it. And he's got long hair. He's a white dude, of course, you know, and it's hanging down. And I open the door for him and he just walks by. Like there's his head's straight down. He's just, what is that thing? What did I spot? You know?
Yeah.
And then I was at the grocery store when I came home and I see another one come out of back room and I'm like, what are these people? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways. So basically, now we're going to do drugs, okay? This is beautiful. All psychiatric drugs in the U.S., 77 million people are on psychiatric drugs. I should have asked you the number first.
This is people.
Would you have guessed 77 million people? That many? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't, especially in the U.S., yeah.
0 to 1 year olds are at 85,000 of them are on psychiatric drugs. That first number pisses me off so much, okay?
But any of the underage ones.
Yeah.
Their brains aren't even done forming and you're doping them out.
How is a 0 to 1? Okay, anyways. He needs mood stabilizers.
He's crying.
Yeah.
How dare a baby cry?
Yeah, he cries. He's probably ADHD.
Right.
You know?
Clearly.
Dope him. Okay, so now we're going to do which kind of drugs, and we're going to go through this kind of fast, right? Because we want to know, like, what are you talking about? Antidepressants is 45 million. That's over half of people are just on antidepressants.
Wow, see, I would have thought that one was closer to the previous one, the psychiatric drugs.
But no, antidepressants is a psychiatric drug.
Oh.
So now we're breaking down all of the
Okay.
psychiatric drugs. There's 77 million of those, but 45 million of the 77 million
Wow. Okay.
are antidepressants. 0 to 1 year old, 7,811 parents need their kids taken from them. Unless you can, maybe there's an excuse where your kid's got some weird medical condition, they got to do a heart surgery, so they need the antidepressant to lower his blah, 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 blah. In which case, I'll buy it, you know? So if you're a doctor, put a comment below, but I'm sorry, that's trash, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, then ADHD drugs is about 10 million. 310 0 to 1 year olds. You've got to be kidding me. Anti-anxiety drugs, so that's almost all the rest of them, 31 million.
Yeah.
That might be all the rest of them. With 60,000 0 to 1 year olds on anti-anxiety. How does a baby have anxiety?
Yeah. They don't. Yeah. I don't get it.
And whatever it is, whatever's going on with that baby, they got to work through it.
Right.
And it's just don't medicate your babies, for goodness sakes. You're terrible human beings. Antipsychotics, 11 million. So it's bipolar and stuff like that, I'm guessing. 0 to 1 year olds, 13, 18. I just made a weird sound because this is just, I will. Mood stabilizers, 20. How are there so many numbers? We've gone way over. Oh, because multiple people are on multiple ones.
Oh, yeah.
Because if there was a 46 and a 21,
yeah,
that's already 67, plus there was a 9 and a 10. So dang. Okay, so I want to know how many people are on multiple psychiatric drugs. 0 to 1 year olds, mood stabilizers, 21,593. Okay. My next point is this. Okay. So what do you think about that one?
I'm not too surprised. I saw a stat a long time ago. It was like America consumes like 65% of all of those drugs like on the planet. I mean, it's an incredibly heavily medicated populace.
What if you said, I want to know that I just picture all these white moms. That's what I picture.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but what if you said if you're on a psychiatric drug, you don't get to vote? Instant perfect country. Everything goes fine except for Apex paying for everything, so it's going to go terrible.
But who cares about voting enough to get off their meds that make them feel good?
No, I mean, I think all the housewives are voting.
You think so?
They're all voting Democrat.
But you think it's more important than them feeling how they do when they take their meds?
I think they do both. You can choose. You know, Tony Soprano was on Prozac and he still did a whole TV show, right? You know,
yeah, I guess.
Depends on your dosage and stuff. Okay, so in other areas of life, like where do you see strong white folk with their heads held high? We did a video called Americans Are Pathetically Weak.
Right.
I'm linking in the description. But how often do you see?
Yeah, I can't. Nothing's popping to my mind.
Yeah, I just feel like people are pathetic. I was going through a security station, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, I'll go days without seeing a man unless I look in the mirror. No, I was kidding. But not really. Anyways, basically, I get to the security thing. It's like this 19-year-old kid. He's got carrot top hair, freckles on his face. He's like, how are you doing this morning, sir? And I'm like, I found a man. He's 19.
Yeah.
And he's better than any 30-year-old I'll see, 40-year-old. Are you kidding me? You know? Anyways, so my argument is that white people have lost their stride. Okay? You may agree with it. You may not agree with it. See how your countries are going. See how your immigration policies. Are you in control or is Israel in control? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that being taken into account, now I want to make my next logical point that black people have not lost their stride.
Okay.
What do you think about that on his face?
Well, I'm interested to hear your proof of like why you think that.
Okay, well, look at something goes wrong for white people.
Okay.
Trump. What? They don't do nothing. They don't do anything. We made a video recently about how they won't even go and just do a peaceful, non-armed protest as he's being stripped off the ballot in a trial.
Right.
I just think, and it's not just white people who support Trump, you know, but none of the Trump people. You look at the BLM riots. Now, they were fighting for justice, but they were being deceived about the appropriate way to do it and the appropriate time to do it. So they were given bogus positions, and then they were burning down their own neighborhoods. But at least they went out there. I'm not justifying what they're doing, but at least they went out there and stood up for something, raised their fist and stood up for something.
Okay.
And you look at, like, if a white person gets attacked in the media, they just cry and snivel. But then black folk act a different way, you know?
Okay. Like
the Kanyes, and they just do their thing, you know?
Right.
And so I want to, like, okay, as a perfect example of this, I'm going to give you a small clip from Candace Owens that you haven't seen yet. Okay. And you may have seen it, but they're blaming this whole thing between her and Shapiro on other stuff that's not this. But this is what she actually said. Okay. And so we're going to play. It's just going to take a second.
I am here today to endorse Nikki Haley for president of Israel. I think she's earned that. I think Bibi Netanyahu is going through a very bad time right now. Support for Israel has virtually collapsed socially. If you're paying attention to the trends and you're paying attention to what people are watching, you're paying attention to the protests. And the one person that I think is capable of getting it back is Nikki Haley with enough money from foreign interest lobbies. So there it is, guys. I'm endorsing Nikki Haley, president of Israel.
Okay, so great, right?
Phenomenal.
Okay. Now imagine a white person doing that.
Okay.
Just go like,
okay.
What do they look like? Who is it? Not one would come even close to that neighborhood.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so, and of course, Candace hasn't lost her stride. And there's individual white people who haven't lost their stride. So I might be making an argument where I'm looking at the micro and you should be looking at the macro. But I see this type of behavior from lots of different black people.
Right. They're just, they're encouraged just to be loud and always speak their mind. I mean, that's why you don't want to go to the theater.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of their thing. Just say what's on your mind.
Interesting, which is an advantage and a disadvantage. It's a disadvantage to civility at sometimes. It's an advantage to not being taken advantage of.
Right.
When you need to speak out, you just don't.
Right. Interesting.
Okay. So now I'm going to make the argument.
Okay.
So I have a Twitter account. It's X now. And I had made it for this business here, for our podcast. And then I just didn't use it. I followed some people. But it ended up like half the people I followed were just black nationalists.
Oh.
So here's what I did. A couple nights ago, I was setting up for this video, and I just picked one, whoever came up on my feed first, and I just looked at his post within the last 1 hour.
Okay.
So that was the rule. Can't go over an hour. And so I'm going to put some of his posts up on the screen, and we're just going to see what we think.
Okay.
It's a variety here. We're going to get some quotes from Malcolm X,
Okay.
We'll see what you think.
Sure.
Okay, first one. His name's Black in the Empire. Quote by Malcolm X, "I am for truth no matter who tells it. I'm for justice no matter who it's for or against."
Perfect.
Okay, beautiful.
No problems.
Beautiful. Next one. 2,977 killed on 9/11. Hamas killed 1,200 people. Israel killed at least 11,500 civilians. 4,750 were children in about 1 month. U.S. killed over 1 million people since 9/11. 20 months of the Russia-Ukraine war, 9,700 civilians have been killed, 544 children. Israel killed more kids than COVID.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, change the picture to me.
Right.
I'm good with this.
Yeah.
I'll stand by this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Ditto. Yeah.
This is just the same guy. This all in an hour. Watch this. The U.S. is still angry that illegal bases we have in countries that asked us to get out are being attacked. Of course, none of that matters, and our government has the right to defend itself.
Yeah. Preach, brother.
Look, this is perfect. The people trapped behind a fence being bombed unmercifully with their food, water, fuel, and electricity cut off might not be the villains in this story.
Yes.
How to shake this dude's hand.
That's so
You know what I'm
good.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay, one more, I think.
This is in an hour?
Yeah, in a 1 hour period.
Man.
They've spent decades of going around the world stealing, killing, overthrowing, and cooing governments to enrich themselves and maintain their control. They are so greedy and evil, they never thought of sharing their gains with us. They exploited us to grow up. This isn't a democracy. So
Good.
this one's probably a reply to somebody who
Okay.
I didn't bother to look at the reply because this is good enough. I'll
Right.
take it. You know what I'm saying? I got another one. Okay. Nobody's interested with all your BS talk about... Oh, the U.S. had their time to rule the world. Nobody's interested with all your BS talk about human rights and democracy anymore. That's just like our ethnocentrically transposing the morality. We had a video about this. Your hypocrisy is on full display, and the countries you've bombed, sanctioned, cooed, and bullied have other options now. Your empire is crumbling. I'm just saying. Okay, that's all I got now.
That's
Just
awesome.
in 1 hour.
Yeah.
This is just one dude that I follow. And I
Right.
only have followed 30 people. And half of them are black nationalists. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I don't do Twitter.
Right.
I just don't have time for this stuff. But when I do, I want to see something like this.
Right.
So how far is that from what we're talking about?
It's right. That's the dude you go to lunch with and exchange ideas. And, that
Yeah,
type of
just
thing.
flip a few things and we got it.
We're on the same.
And so one of my dreams in life
Okay.
is to meet the next Malcolm X.
Okay.
I don't care. He hates white people. I don't really care. You know what I mean? And then to be able to have some influences on him you know what I'm saying?
Okay. On how to lead in a certain direction type of thing?
Right. Just some books you should read and stuff, Yeah. And then you take it from there. So my idea I'm trying to give here is that white people have lost their stride.
Okay.
Black people still have their stride. Very unpopular opinion right here. But white people may need black people to help them regain their stride, which is an insane thing to say, right? So white people are going to get mad because they're going to look at it and be like, no, we'll pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. You will. I will. You will. Tens of millions of people won't.
Right.
And that's not going to work. They need a motivating factor. If you're the orator, then I will quit this podcast and back you.
Right.
And I will travel around the country with you. I'll be your security guard if that's the spot you have for me.
Sure.
So that you can get that done. Just white people doing it by themselves, I'm down.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, I don't see that as the case.
And where they are right now. Right.
And then I look at black people and I'm like, black people are being taught to hate white people.
Right.
I think that somebody might know that what I just said was true, and they need to turn they always want to turn people against each other. So that just might be just a natural course that they unnaturally force upon people. But if you get like these black nationalist people, You know what I'm saying? Because we did a video just yesterday. It was, National Socialism was for everybody. And I talked about in that video, it's a big room. Black people on the side, white people on the side. The black guy gets up and speaks. Everybody cheers. The white people too. Just for you. It's for you. For us, we want the exact same things, but for us.
Right.
And the white guy gets up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no conflict here. As you can see in this guy's tweets, he knows the things.
But there's that guy's counterpart is on Gab, because that's where all the white nationalists had to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can get that same type of rhetoric from
white people.
But it's, very few amount of white people.
Yeah, no, I do get it. I get that there's white people saying the right thing. But it's like I said in yesterday's video, if you could popularize it for black people to become National Socialists, the most edgy thing in the world.
Right.
White people start, I mean, like, tons of white people, they just do whatever black people do.
Yeah, totally.
What kind of shoes should I wear?
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What kind of shirt shouldn't I wear? What kind of chain am I allowed to wear, or I look like too much? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if these people led their people, like if they just got a little fix, led their people, and then our people say, oh, we'd like to do that, because if you look at it, like, here's another good point, like BLM riots, right?
Okay.
Well, not BLM riots. I'm going to say BLM protests. What percentage of the population was white out there? Tons of them, because they were just following the black people.
Okay.
The black people were given by their terrible leaders a terrible cause, and then the wrong solution for the cause, but they hadn't lost their stride, so at least they went out there and tried. And a bunch of white people flocked with them. Now, when it came to the rioting late at night, I think it was more black people, because you just, from the videos, that's my impression. I don't have facts on that. Do you remember the videos of the black dudes and white people come up and kiss the shoe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Remember that one guy who runs over the girl and says, I need you to get on your knees and apologize to me. And she's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about that type of, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you might be a black person watching this. You might be thinking like, I don't even like white people. I don't want you to regain your stride.
Okay.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, black person, black nationalist who just said that. Okay. Can you do it by yourself? Can you get black people to overcome this system, get rid of the system, and bring in a utopia? Do you have the plan for that? Do you have the will to do it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so in this sense, I would say that the answer is no to me being able to get white people to do it.
Okay.
But then it's no to him getting black people to be able to do it.
Right.
But together, working only for our separate interests, which are common.
Right.
They're the same interest just for us.
There's potential.
There's potential, right?
Right. That's an interesting thought.
Because the deal is when black people get fired out, they're like I'm not going to be rude here. They're like a bull, like running,
Okay.
like a massive bull that can just tear down anything. But then he can be steered a little bit and he can run a little different direction. Do you know what I'm saying? And then white people are like a nuclear bomb. Do you know what I'm saying? The difference is astounding.
Okay.
What white folk will do if they get their stride back.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like the problem with black people is that they can be led poorly so easily.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say the same thing about white people being indoctrinated into LGBTQ and stuff like that. You could say that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about physical action. I'm talking about going out and doing stuff. They can be led to do the wrong things. White people just won't do anything. But once we start doing things, you're going to see some stuff.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Totally agree with you.
Because it's like, and just think about other groups like Asians. If they get going, whatever. Hispanics, if they get going, I mean, do you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But then white folk, do you know what I'm talking about? So that's my entire pitch.
Okay.
What do you think?
There's a part of me that doesn't like hearing about white people, but I can't argue like what you're actually saying. Like it's an emotional reaction because I don't want white people to be like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so,
If I knew the do it yourself solution, I would 100%. Do it. I would do it. I would give my life for that.
Right.
But I don't have that solution. I have a podcast.
But that's our effort.
It is our effort, and it's a drop in the bucket. If everybody's dropping in the bucket, that bucket's going to fill up.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm interested in knowing what you guys think.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in knowing, like, after this percolates in your mind for a bit, is this just a trash episode, or is there some value here? Because I feel like I'm still working through these ideas.
Right.
Even though I mentioned to you like 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's been months since
right.
we first talked.
I feel like I'm still working through them. So I would like to know, what am I missing? And I would like to know, is it food for thought or is it trash? I would really honestly,
Yeah.
You curse at me if you want. I don't care. But I'm really interested.
And yeah, also, you kind of dismissed other groups, but like, are there not value in the other groups? But you mentioned Asians and Mexicans and all that. Is there something we're missing with them that could fit into this puzzle somehow?
Right. But what I'm saying is that, like, I didn't mean to disregard them, those other groups. What I mean is, I don't feel like they have their stride. And even if they did have their stride, the threat wouldn't be high.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm pointing specifically to Black people, because they're the only one that I say really has their stride.
Okay.
And you may know close-knit communities that do, like, but what about the Croatians? Okay, maybe. I don't know about that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if it is, it's such a small percentage of the population. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Whereas if you can get a huge chunk of the population, 13%, to activate the majority, I'm just saying.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're Hispanic and stuff, that you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then if you're Hispanic or Asian, I also want you to get your stride. I also want you to get your own movement,
100%.
and I want to have our movements, work together for common interest, for the best interest of your people, my people, and the other people, and the Black people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, and I think, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this week and got some food for thought. Covered some interesting topics, and love to hear any thoughts you have, and we'll see you next time.
Oh wait.
Nope.
See you next time. But also, if you, I'm interested in knowing, this is the last episode, were you interested in hearing about this stuff? Were you interested in hearing about Black Week?
Oh, okay.
I'm interested in knowing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if I find another Black Waco or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever we did, because we haven't filmed that one. It's either going to be Black Waco or the Newport 7 or whatever. You know what I mean? Newport 5. You know what I'm saying? So give me more ideas if you're interested in hearing more content like that. I just want to throw that out there.
All right, cool.